Good afternoon and welcome to Employment for All. My name is Kimberly Bissett and I'm an Employment and Training Manager at the Boston University Center for Psychiatric Rehabilitation. Our show, Employment for All, is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Massachusetts. The point of our show is to bring you interesting and informative guests who let you know about the myriad of resources we have available in this community and the extended communities both nationally and internationally. Today is no exception. We'd like to welcome Gretchen Wallace. She's the founder and president of Global Grassroots, and we're very excited to have you on our show today.
Thank you.
So let's start, tell us a little bit about yourself, Gretchen. We'll start there today.
Sure. Well, I grew up moving quite a bit throughout the country and overseas as a child because my father was in the Navy. So my first exposure to the international world was as a child living in the Philippines. Okay. And I always thought that I would do something in my life to be involved on an international level in developing countries. So I studied foreign affairs, and I actually spent a brief period of time in investment banking before going to graduate school. And after graduate school, decided to begin work in a field called social entrepreneurship.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about Global Grassroots. Tell us what it's about.
Sure. Well, so in 2004, I decided to start my own organization, and Global Grassroots is dedicated to helping women, especially vulnerable women in post-conflict environments in Africa, create their own nonprofit organizations to solve issues facing women in their communities.
Great, and we have a little clip that demonstrates kind of some of the work that you do, a little bit about Global Grassroots. If we could show that, that would be great, so people could kind of see some of the images that are involved.
That would be great.
And you can kind of walk us through it to see what kind of a picture is worth 1,000 words, they say, right?
Sure.
So as they're kind of gearing up to start that clip, maybe you could tell us, give us a little bit about the clip. Oh, it's on now.
Learn about ways that women like you are helping each other.
The criteria that I'm looking for in a project is something that also serves a social need, like the stoves we're providing, addressing the issue of taking too much firewood from the land.
Socially, yeah.
A project that is not just an income-generating solution, but something that also addresses a larger need.
Exactly.
We believe that social entrepreneurs emerge to address the issues not already met by traditional aid.
We have many resources. We have lands. We have water. My idea is to establish libraries here for our community. If we are educated, we can make use of these resources to help ourselves to a better living. We provided these libraries with documents about human rights, about women's rights, about child rights.
Global Grassroots offers training and seed funding to help women advance their own ideas for social change.
My name is Pastor Habimana Augustine. When I started the church here at Kimirongo, it was in 2004. It was really difficult for widows who live with HIV to tell the truth that they have or they live with HIV. I wanted to welcome those widows. So I got free and they helped me to call others. Today we are 65 widows and 200 children. When we got friends from America, we were really happy to see them because they changed our thinking. They changed our lives. They started to teach our members how they can start small projects by using the few things they have. We are seeing that the project we started through those teachings are helping our members. We can support those who are going to the hospital, those who give birth, and some children, we can get some money for school fees.
Terrific. So let's define social entrepreneurship for people.
Sure. So like a business entrepreneur who starts a new service or creates a new product, A social entrepreneur is inventing new services, but to solve a social need. And so they are operating throughout the world, coming up with new ways of handling problems of education or violence or other health problems. And so we're looking for those social entrepreneurs that are just getting started, especially among some of the most marginalized and vulnerable populations in Africa, where they don't have access to the training and resources to do what they want to do.
So it's along the ideas that you go to the communities in the most need, and then you help them mobilize their own resources, identify their own strengths, and then give them other resources so they can be even more successful.
Absolutely. One of the focuses of our training program is to help our participants look at the gifts and capabilities that they already possess and the assets that they have within their community. Even in a community where women are living on $1 to $2 a day, they still have capabilities that can be leveraged to create social change and solve problems, especially in terms of raising awareness. And we teach them how to do that in a way that's sustainable.
Okay, and really looking a strength-based model that really sets the stage for them to become empowered.
Absolutely, and what we found is with just a little bit of training and some seed funding and some additional advisory support, our teams are reaching upwards of 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Wow.
And really with only a few $1,000s are able to transform lives.
Wow. And that goes along with our motto here at Employment for All, because we feel that everyone can be successful for the right support. So it's helping people identify what they're really good at and what they need in order to leverage their strengths.
Absolutely.
So it's really neat. It sounds like you're putting into practice internationally. So why don't we look at a couple clips, and you can kind of just walk us through the PowerPoint to say, well, what are some examples of the project? Because some people might be saying, well, what different projects? So,
Absolutely.
For example, this one.
So here is just an example of some of the teaching methods that we use, and some of the women that we're working with are actually illiterate, and so we use drawings to map out the way in which they're analyzing their place in their community. Then we also have a clip of our graduating class.
Oh, terrific.
We teach groups from between 25 up to, this class was actually 125 participants.
Wow, okay.
So after they graduate,